Hi, happy almost New Year 2026. I guess it's December 27th at the moment. I'm going to show you some Julia code and output from it. So it's what's called an oceanographic section, and I'm going to be plotting a map of station locations. So the idea is that a ship is kind of running around the North Atlantic, and I'm interested, and I know the station locations, but I want to see the order in which they were occupied. And so this is the code that does it. This is Julia code. And if you want to run it in line two, these are line numbers over here. In line two, you could just copy paste that, and that would install the latest version for you. In line three, I'm saying what packages I want. One, ocean analysis, which you will have installed by that, plots and printf as well. This line four is specifying a URL where an oceanographic section, say Arrow 7, a particular one, is located. If you're an oceanographer, you probably know what Arrow 7 means. What I'm doing here is I'm running a function called get section from this ocean analysis package. You give it a URL and it saves stuff, or it sees it's already saved, I guess, and unzips it, etc., and puts it into a directory. So at the end of line five, there'll be a new directory whose name will be ARO7, like that, without the zip on it. And then what I'm doing in the next line is I'm reading the section. Yes, line six and lines seven, eight, and nine. I'm getting the longitude, latitude, and times of each of the stations, CTD stations within the section. Oh, also in line 10, I'm getting the station number. And now what I'm doing here is I'm looping through. I shouldn't have done this actually. I should have been using each index, but that's okay. Just this is not the best way of doing it, but it's fine. Um, and the key thing is I'm doing at animate, and then later I'm doing MP4. So it's going to make an MP4 file. What I'm doing every time through the loop, I'm replotting doing this kind of to be slow. I'm replotting the map, and it's in gray. And then what I'll be doing is in what color is it? In red, I'm going to be showing sort of so far. And there'll be a label which will give the directory, the station number, and the time. And let's just have a look at what we see. So here's the very first frame. You can see here that's station one was at this location. That's Greenland. I hope you can see just from that where we are. Obviously, it's longitude and latitude, etc. So I'm going to just start the simulation. Now, this is a bit weird, but all I know is that this is the first sample in this data set. Now, they may have made other samples before this, but in this data set, it starts right here. Does seem weird to me. Partly why I'm doing this is to see what the heck is going on with that. Right, so I'm going to start time going. I'm going to slow down and go back again. So the first one was there, the second one was there. Okay, there's the first one, and then they went north onto that line. I can't actually move the mouse well enough. I'm showing three stations at the moment. Um, and okay, and then from this, I'm making time go forward. Now it's going straightforwardly along the path. So here we go, going like this, and it gets to here. And what do they do at this point? Well, they jump down to there. Don't do any samples. They retrace their path without getting any new samples. And now when they get to this location, they jump up to Greenland. And then they go down from Greenland, and then they jump back onto this path. I'd be interested to see the cruise notes to see how they decided on all this. And then they get to this spot, and then they jump all the way up to Greenland, and they go away from Greenland like this, and then they go backtrack onto that line, and they go up here up to Greenland, and then they jump over. Um, and I'm not timing, it's just frame by frame, it's station by station. They jump over and they go along here, and then they go up to that's Iceland there. Oh gosh, what do? They jump straight up to Iceland and then they come back. They don't occupy any more stations. They start up and going forward and back in time. They start up and go like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna rerun the whole thing. Does that do that? Okay, I guess it doesn't. I don't know what that does. I'm gonna rerun the whole thing. So that's it. It's actually been pretty useful because I actually had no idea what kind of a path they were taking in here. I mean, I was trying to isolate some of the data by time and I was just getting myself all mixed up. So I think this is going to be my first step from now on whenever I'm looking at section data. It's kind of useful to go back and forth. And in fact, what I could do, like say for example, if I wanted these data in here, which I probably do, but um, I could just sort of go back and forth and find, okay, there we go. So that's starting at whatever the time is in the title, up to there, whatever the time is in the title. And I could then subset by time and I would get that little sort of mini section. And again, here's the code that does it. I think it's fairly straightforward. If you're not familiar with Julia, you can at least read it. I believe you can read it and understand it. It's a little tricky, especially if you're like me coming to Julia from R. Um, there's a lot of tricky things, and I have some other things on my YouTube channel about the Julia and making the transition from R. Hope this was useful. Enjoy the solstice holiday. Take care. Bye.